Travis Scott, from Houston dreams industry nightmare and back, in the sprawling concrete maze of Houston, Texas, where southern rap meets chopped and screwed beats, a young Jock Webster dreamed of something bigger, something darker, something that would shake the very foundations of hip-hop. He would become Travis Scott, a name that would define a generation's relationship with chaos, creativity, and ultimately catastrophe. This is a story of meteoric rise, devastating fall, and a redemption that leaves us questioning everything we thought we knew about second chances in the digital age. Growing up in Missouri City, a suburb southwest of Houston, Jock Webster was surrounded by the city's legendary sound. The slowed-down, syrup-thick beats of DJ Screw, the trunk-rattling bass of UGK, the electronic pulse that would later define his signature style. But Jock wasn't content to follow the traditional Houston blueprint. While his peers were perfecting the art of chopped and screwed, he was experimenting with something entirely different on his bedroom computer. His early SoundCloud releases were raw, unpolished experiments. Owl Pharaoh wasn't just a mixtape. It was a manifesto, a declaration that hip-hop could be psychedelic, chaotic, beautiful, and terrifying all at once. The tracks were dense with layers, samples that sounded like they were recorded in a fever dream, vocals that seemed to emerge from another dimension. Critics didn't know what to make of it, but the internet did. Word spread through the digital underground like wildfire. Here was an artist who understood that music in the streaming age needed to be more than just sound. It needed to be an experience. Then came the phone call that changed everything. Kanye West, never one to ignore emerging talent, reached out to the young Houstonian. In 2012, Travis Scott wasn't just signed to good music. He was anointed. Under Kanye's wing, Travis learned the art of sonic architecture, how to build albums that weren't just collections of songs, but immersive worlds. The student was becoming the master of controlled chaos. Before we dive deeper into how Travis built an empire from chaos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This story is just getting started. And trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. 2015's Rodeo wasn't just Travis Scott's debut album. It was a genre-defining statement. Each track felt like a different room in a haunted mansion, connected by Travis's signature ad-libs and Mike Dean's otherworldly production. But it wasn't just the music that set Travis apart. His live shows were becoming legendary, not for their polish, but for their chaos. Travis didn't just perform. He conducted symphonies of madness. Crowds didn't just listen, they raged. By 2018, with the release of Astroworld, named after Houston's beloved demolished theme park, Travis Scott had achieved something remarkable. He created his own universe, complete with its own language, mythology, and most importantly, its own rules. Sicko Mode wasn't just a song, it was a cultural phenomenon. Multi-platinum success. Grammy nominations. Suddenly, Travis Scott wasn't just a rapper. He was a brand. The partnerships came flooding in. Nike-Jordan collaborations that sold out in seconds. A McDonald's meal that became a meme and a marketing masterclass. A Fortnite concert that attracted 12 million viewers, more than most Super Bowls. Travis Scott had achieved something that few artists ever do. He transcended music entirely. He was a lifestyle, a movement, a gravitational force pulling in fans, brands, and cultural influence from every direction. His fans weren't just supporters. They were disciples. They called themselves Raegers. They adopted his language, his style, his entire worldview. Travis Scott concerts weren't events. They were religious experiences. But with great power comes great responsibility. And in Travis Scott's universe, the rules were about to be rewritten in the most devastating way possible. November 5th, 2021. Houston, Texas. The Astroworld Festival, Travis Scott's own creation, his gift to his hometown, was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it became a nightmare. As Travis took the stage at NRG Park, the crowd of 50,000 surged forward. What had always been part of the experience, the chaos, the pushing, the raging, suddenly turned deadly. 10 people died. Hundreds were injured. In the space of a few hours, Travis Scott went from superstar to pariah. The very energy he cultivated, the controlled chaos that had made him famous, had spun completely out of control. The fallout was swift and merciless. Lawsuits totaling billions of dollars. Brand partnerships evaporating overnight. A media circus that painted Travis not as a grieving artist, but as a negligent entertainer who had prioritized spectacle over safety. For months, Travis Scott disappeared. No social media posts. No public appearances. No music. The man who had built his career on being larger than life suddenly seemed very, very small. Tours were canceled. Albums were shelved. The Travis Scott empire, built on chaos and energy, had crumbled under the weight of its own contradictions. But in 2023, something shifted. New music began emerging. Not the chaotic, explosive Travis Scott of old, but something more measured, more careful. Utopia wasn't just an album. It was a rehabilitation campaign disguised as art. Every interview was scripted. Every appearance was calculated. The man who had once represented chaos was now the master control. Slowly, the partnerships returned. Dior, Nike again, eventually. A massive world tour that sold out in minutes, proving that the fan base, scarred but loyal, was still there. The concerts returned too, but they were different. More security, more barriers, more distance between artist and audience. The spontaneous combustion that had once defined Travis Scott's shows had been replaced by something safer, more sanitized. Fans were divided. Some celebrated the return of their idol. Others mourned the loss of what had made him special in the first place. The question hanging over everything: was this really Travis Scott anymore? Today, Travis Scott performs to sold-out arenas around the world. His music streams in the hundreds of millions. His influence on hip-hop culture remains undeniable. But he has never fully addressed what happened at Astroworld, never taken complete responsibility, never answered the question that haunts his redemption. Can an artist separate their art from their accountability? Perhaps that's the most unsettling part of Travis Scott's story. In an age of cancel culture and immediate consequences, he simply continued. The music industry moved on. The fans moved on. The world moved on. But the families who lost loved ones that night in Houston, they're still waiting for answers. Still waiting for accountability. Still wondering if redemption without responsibility is redemption at all. Travis Scott dreamed of creating a world without limits. He succeeded. The question is, should there have been some limits all along? If you've made it this far, you clearly care about the stories behind the music. So go ahead and subscribe for more deep dives into the icons, the controversies, and the culture that shapes them. New videos every week.